we are finishing up one of our 6.7 Powerstroke engines with a set of our exclusive Jesel rocker arms, and this one also has the solid lifter conversion on it. And so we get a lot of questions on this. I kind of want to go over a few of the main questions that we get. So as you can see, this converts it from the factory. The 6.7s have 4 rocker arms per cylinder. It's this goofy thing here that would normally bolt to the head. So we don't use that. Jesel rocker arm system here, it gets the rocker pedestal that bolts to the cylinder head with ARP hardware here, and then it uses shaft-mounted forged steel USA made Jesel rockers here. So from the factory, a 6.7 Ford Powerstroke lifter has actually 2 what they call like a lash adjuster in it, or lash posts in it, and they're hydraulic. Those actually come out, and that's what actually takes up the lash, so you don't have to adjust the valves with the factory non-adjustable style rockers. And as you can see, these are just stamped steel, and looks kind of like a leftover remnant of the 6.0, 6.4 stuff that I don't know what they were thinking. So with the Jesel setup, it converts it from 4 rockers per cylinder and 4 push rods per cylinder to 2 push rods and 2 rockers per cylinder. And they do that by plugging one of these holes. And then the other hole, you can either run a factory hydraulic style lash adjuster, or Jesel makes a really solid insert that drops in there. At that point, it's a solid lifter. And so you would adjust your valve lash. The Jesel kit comes with a tool steel billet valve bridge here. And so to adjust your valve lash, we get a lot of questions on this for 6.0, 6.4. We did more of a deep dive walkthrough of our 6.0, 6.4 video for installing the Jesel rocker system on the 6.0 Powerstroke. Now your pedestal actually also holds, you notice there's no more oil spray bar on here. The factory spray bar that kind of just drizzles oil on the factory rockers, that's no longer needed. So this actually registers into the pedestal here, this little plug, and does another little trick piece that Jesel makes that registers into this pedestal here. And so that's what actually plugs where the spray bar would go, and then these oil up through the push rod. Once your rocker pedestals are installed, ARP hardware is torqued, you'll install the rocker shafts. Typically what we do is we'll roll the engine around until it's top dead center on cylinder number 1. And what that does on the compression stroke is ensures that we're not trying to install the rockers with the nose of the cam pointed up. So, and if you're not sure if you're on the compression stroke or not, you can watch the lifters or watch the push rods, and if they come all the way up, all the way back down, you'll know you're on the top dead center of the compression stroke. And so once you're on the compression stroke, meaning neither push rod is at peak lift, you can install the rockers, and then rotate the crankshaft 90 degrees, and then install the next cylinder in the firing order, and then rotate the crank 90 degrees, and install the rockers on the next cylinder in the firing order, and so on, until you get through all 8 cylinders. Once your pedestals are installed, we'll go through and set valve lash. Now your typical process for any internal combustion engine, 4-stroke engine, is ICEO. So that's intake closing, exhaust opening. What that means is when the intake rocker is closing but not quite closed, you adjust the exhaust, and then when the exhaust rocker is opening, just starting to open, then you adjust the intake. And so on a 6.7 Powerstroke, it's actually backwards for most engines because the exhaust exits to the valley. The exhaust is going to be the short rocker arm. The intake is going to be the longer rocker arm. That's actually backwards from the way most engines are, 6.0, 6.4, Duramax, etc. ICEO, again, that's intake closing, exhaust opening. So when the intake rocker is opened and is coming back closed again but not quite closed, you'll adjust the exhaust, and then keep rotating the crank in the direction of normal operation. And then when the exhaust rocker begins to open, that's when you'll adjust the intake, and then you'll do that for all 8 cylinders. So you will rotate the engine over several times during that process, which is kind of a feature, not a bug. Let us know if you have any questions. Give us a call, 252-725-1222.